What's up guys, it's Noah and welcome to Doki Doki Storm. This is a demo that came out created by Tormuse. If you guys know who that is, he's the one of the moderators on the DDLC subreddit and the Discord. You know, he's made a few mods. I haven't played any of his mods before, but I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, so you know, he's pretty well known in the community. And he recently dropped literally yesterday, he dropped this Yuri mod, and I figured, well, he asked for a review, so why not? Who better to review a DDLC Yuri mod than a fellow DDLC mod creator? So, let's get into it. New game. Enter his name. Oh, that's right, because this game is played through Yuri's perspective. Let's just go with my name. Why not? Actually, let's go with Jeff. That's more fun. Jeff. His name is Jeff. It's Tuesday. I sit in my classroom seat, pretending to look over my school notes. It's hard to focus on the class, as it always is for me. Really, all I can think of is how much I'm looking forward to escaping to my safe haven, the literature club. Well, actually, it's not true to say it's all I'm thinking of. But if I tried to list everything I'm thinking of, it could fill a novel. My back is hurting again. I should sit up straighter. Am I spending too much time looking at my notes? Should I look at the teacher more? Should I at least pretend to take notes? I have my pen in hand, but I'm not doing anything with it. Does that look weird? The ever-present question in my mind, do I look weird? It's probably not normal to be wondering about these things. Normal people would probably be thinking of normal things, like the festival coming up next week. I notice I'm fidgeting with my pen. No, stop that. That's weird. Don't play with the pen. Don't play with the pen, Yuri. I grip my notes to try to help me focus. No, I'm gripping my notes too hard. They're crumbling. Don't do that. Panic rushes through me. Did anyone see me do that? There's like a heartbeat going on. Listen to that. I wish people would stop staring at me. I keep catching them when they think I don't see. They must think they must hate me. That's why they're staring. The storm is rising, filling my mind with its intensity, making me anxious, making me hard to control in my breathing. Did the text box get lighter? It looked like, maybe I'm just colorblind, but it looks like the text box changed colors. I have to act normal. Don't be weird. Act normal. I know I should stop thinking about it, but I can't. I wish I could just shut off my brain. As casually as possible, I reach down for my bag on the floor next to my seat. I cautiously open it, being careful to make sure no one can see what I'm looking at. The text box did change color, what the hell? Somehow, seeing my knife in there helped me breathe a little more easily. I brought the green one today. The color of nature of peace. Look at this dude spelling color with a U. Freaking non-Americans. I take a moment to admire the leafy pattern on the handle. It's also pretty. The side of it is soothing, also great spelling a pattern. A fitting tool to help calm the storm going on in my head. I close my bag and turn back to my notes again. I don't even know why I find it so calming. Somehow, it just feels right to have it with me. I have a fleeting notion that it's become I don't want to feel alone. But that's ridiculous. It's a knife. It's an inanimate object. It's not a companion by any description. I may not know what is normal, but that thought was definitely weird. Can people tell I'm thinking weird things? I hope not, but how would I know? I don't know. I should stop thinking about it or I'll make myself anxious again. I just want this day to be over. Finally, the bell rings. I hastily gather my things, eager to be on my way. I'd be more comfortable if there were fewer people, but it feels nice to finally be on the move. Sometimes, sitting still for so long really gets to me. I briskly make my way to the clubroom. The first thing I see is Monica, smiling face greeting me. Hi, Yuri. I wish I'd be more like Monica. She always looks so calm and confident. Everyone seems to look up to her. She's like the epitome of normal. If ever there was someone for me to emulate, it would be her. I wonder if Monica's self-awareness mod, I'm not entirely sure. Wait, did she just say something to me? I was so preoccupied I forgot to pay attention. I'm fine, thank you. I hope that was an appropriate response to whatever she just said. I just want to get back to my book. As I make my way to the seat, I realize too late that Monica looked like she might have wanted to talk to me. I'm probably being rude to her. I don't mean to be. The fact that I can't bring myself to talk to her is another reminder that there's something wrong with me. I shouldn't think about that though. It would just make me more anxious. I should make some tea. That always helps to calm me. I look over to my tea set in the closet, but Natsuki is in the way. Move out the way, Natsuki. She's attending to a tray that's covered by foil. Of course, the cupcakes. The gift for this mysterious guest that Sayori is bringing today. Why does she have to be standing there? Why can't she just finish what she's doing and stand somewhere else? I'm paralyzed with indecision. Should I ask her to move? There's no point in talking to Natsuki. I can't make sense of her. Of all people I've ever met, she seems the most erratic. She's unpredictable. It's so easy to set off her temper. I mostly find it easier to avoid her. I sometimes wonder if I should try getting to know her, but I have no idea how I could go about it. Anyway, I'd be too scared to do it. She's far too intimidating. I've been standing still too long, haven't I? I'll just have to do without tea today. I take a seat and pull out my book. I let out a long sigh. The relief I feel is almost instantaneous. When I'm reading, it's like my mind can expand into whatever fantasy world I want it to. It's as if the storm is more spread out. It's less confined. It doesn't affect me as much. It doesn't even matter if I'm actually focused on the words I'm reading. I just let my mind drift wherever it wants to. It's a remarkably freeing sensation. Words can't express how thankful I am to Monica for starting the literature club. Of course, I can read at home too, but there's something cathartic about being able to do something I love in such a public place. It makes me feel human. Like, even with all the weirdness that keeps popping into my mind, there's still something that connects me with people. I wonder what our new members will be like. All Sarah would say is that her friend is an awesome person who would make an amazing addition to our club. She was very vague in her description. She didn't even give the gender of her guest. It will probably be another girl, which will make 5 of us. But I find myself wondering, what if it was a boy? That would change the dynamics of the group, wouldn't it? The rules always seem to be different between boys and girls. They're supposed to act differently and be treated differently. I've never understood it. Like everything else in the world, it doesn't make sense to me. I just try my best to play along, because I know that would be expected of me. I learned a long time ago the consequences of failing to meet the expectations of normalcy. Suddenly, Sayori energetically bursted through the door. I don't know what voice I use for Sayori. Okay, let's try this. Everyone, the new member is here! Sayori is another mystery altogether. And yet, I have a feeling that in a way, we might have the most in common. She always seems to be smiling, but there's something about her smile that's different from everyone else's. And I know what it is. It's an act. I know because I recognize that effort she puts into it as the same as the effort I put into pretending to be normal. I wonder if she practices in front of a mirror like I do. Every once in a while, when she thinks no one is looking, I see her expression slip. Like a crack in the mask that she's wearing. And I see the pain that she's hiding briefly show through. Still, everyone treats her as if she's happy. Are they just playing along with the act to make her feel better? Or is it possible that they really don't know how she's not happy? I have so many questions, but I don't know who I would ask or how. I sometimes fantasize about having the courage to start a conversation with her. One thing's for sure, she must have a great love of literature. Otherwise, Monica wouldn't have made her the vice president of the club. I find it hard to imagine anyone loving books more than I do. All the answers to the mysteries are there, I just have to read the words. Even if the answers aren't provided directly, it doesn't matter. Because I can just let my imagination walk through all the hidden meanings, or just find my own. Being able to let my mind wander freely is indescribably wonderful. Especially after the exhaustion of a long day of keeping it focused while at school. Suddenly, my attention is drawn to Sayori's guest. I see a boy walk into the room. As always, I'm instantly curious about his personal story, but I think it's more so than usual this time, because he looks so timid, so withdrawn. I think I see something in myself within him. I see him mutter something to Sayori. Something about how soft-spoken he is makes me feel compelled to reach out to him. Before I know it, I'm out of my chair walking towards him, my book forgotten. I think some formal pleasantries would be appropriate. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Oh, god damn it, I don't know what to do for Natsuki's voice. Seriously? You brought a boy? That's gonna be Natsuki's voice. Way to kill the atmosphere. I'm too stunned to even react. How can Natsuki be so rude? What if she scares him away? I forgot I named him Jeff. I forgot I gave him that name. Ah, Jeff, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. Oh, Monica knows him. I can't help feeling disappointed. She's so popular, it probably means that any small hope of me getting to know him is gone. He's visibly stunned by all the attention. I really feel for him. I know what it's like. I wish I could think of what to say. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. I'm feeling more and more annoyance at Natsuki's behavior. Natsuki. Zoe whispers something in Jeff's ear. I'm so glad I gave him that name. I hope she's offering some kind of reassurance that will make him stay. He's the most interesting person I've seen in a long time. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. I don't deserve such compliments. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Jeff. She gives him a lingering smile. My heart sinks. They must know each other very well. You too, Monica. That stammer. That look of uncertainty. I can't help but feel a flutter of hope. Maybe they aren't that close after all. Come sit down, Jeff. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. He's probably going to sit next to Monica. She's so wonderful, why wouldn't he, given that choice? I wonder if I'll have another opportunity to talk to him. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey! I made them, I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make tea as well? Oop. Oh, but I suddenly realized that this means that Natsuki and I are going to the closet at the same time. Being in such close proximity to her makes me nervous. I'm gonna compare it to New Eyes because this is what it reminds me of. And mainly just because in New Eyes, Natsuki and Yuri were like very close friends, and in this one, they're not. And I kinda like this version better. Because there's a few things that were kinda different in New Eyes than in this mod. That I kinda prefer like to take on Yuri in this mod more than New Eyes. Of course we're just getting into it, but like just from what I can see from the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes I've been playing that, I like this version of Yuri and the characters a lot more. So hopefully it doesn't disappoint. My hands shake as I pick up the kettle while Natsuki picks up the tray with her cupcakes. Our eyes meet. Try to be nice. She gives me a sour look and continues as if she didn't hear me. Did I say the wrong thing? Is she mad at me? She always seems a little mad. I don't know if I would know the difference. I just don't want her to ruin any chance I might have at talking to JF. I hurry out the room to fill the kettle with water. It's pleasingly quiet out here. It crosses my mind that I would love to calm myself by holding my knife for a bit. What? But it's in my bag in the club room. I can't go back for it. Oh well, the tea should suffice to calm me down. As I heat up the water, I see that everyone has started eating cupcakes without me. That's fine. I didn't want one anyway. They're probably too sweet for me. Nice touch. I want to point this out. Nice touch for using anyway instead of anyways. Very, very well done, Tormuse. You get a small round of applause for using the correct term for anyway. I noticed that Jeff chose a C next to Sayori. Does this mean he doesn't like Monica at all? The thought gives me a vaguely happy feeling that makes my hand shake slightly as I pour the tea into the teacups from my seat. I see that Natsuki is talking to Jeff, but he's been very dismissive of the conversation. Good. Now's my chance to impress him. I march over to the table where everyone is gathered, carrying my tea set, trying to look as confident as possible. I even start to feel a little confident. If neither Monica nor Natsuki impress Jeff, then this could be my chance. I proudly present my tea set in the center of the group. Ah, the British spelling, it hurts. It hurts me so much seeing the British spelling. Next to the cupcakes, which I see are in the shape of cats. I then distribute teacups to everyone. You keep your whole tea set in the classroom? Jeff noticed me. I swell with pride. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Oh no. My confidence shattered. I see why the text box changes now. I guess the text box, whenever the text box is like a lighter pink shade of pink, it's meant to represent Yuri probably going through an anxiety attack or something. Because the heartbeat plays as well when in sync with the pink text box. Good subtleties. I'm catching on to your Pavlovianism conditioning. Was I that obvious? Was this a mistake? That's not... I turn away to try to hide how ashamed I am. I find myself fidgeting with my hair. I'm sure it looks weird. Why can't I stop myself? Is Maga trying to sabotage me? She's so popular, she can have anyone she wants. Why can't she leave Jeff for me? She always seems so sweet and kind, but now, I start to wonder if she secretly hates me as much as everyone else does. Maybe I deserve it. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. He enjoys tea? I'm glad. The relief I feel threatens to overwhelm me. I have to focus and control my breathing, to not show any outward signs of anything strange. Act normal. Act normal. Act normal. The conversation is continuing. I'm vaguely aware that Monica and Jeff are still talking to each other. But I've stopped being able to focus on it, because this is more important. I have to show Jeff that I can be normal, that I can be worthy of his attention. Yes, I nod to myself in determination. Wait, I shouldn't be nodding. That might look weird. A wave of panic washes over me, but no one seems to have noticed. I can't let slips like that happen again. I have to act normal. What would a normal person do? I guess they would join in the conversation. I suppress the urge to shudder at the thought. I don't know how to make conversation, but I have to try. Maybe I could try to find more about him. I wonder if he likes books. I wonder if he likes knives. No, stop it. Don't talk about knives, that's weird. Don't even think about them. Just books. Just talk about books. Books are normal. Books are normal things to talk about. Just focus on that. Right, everyone? Wait, what was that? Yeah. Are we doing something? We'll do our best. You know it. Phew, I don't think anyone noticed anything strange. There's a pause in the conversation. Now's my chance. So, Jeff, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, manga? Oh. I noticed that Natsuki suddenly looks interested. Of course, her love of manga is obvious from her collection she keeps in her club room. He's probably going to like her more than me. I can't hide the disappointment in my voice. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. Is he saying he wants to read more books? Of course, that's a silly question. Why else would he be in a literature club? Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. It's such a broad question. I'm not sure where to start. I find myself idly playing with my teacup as I collect my thoughts. Oh no. Bruh, he even changed the default dialogue to the non-American spelling. It's obnoxious, but it's consistent. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. My confidence grows as I speak more. I don't normally get to talk about how much I love books. I can't help feeling like I'm rambling a little, but I plow on anyways. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you in for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Oh, I read a horror book once. Yes, I feel relieved. This is going so well. I can't help feeling a little giddy. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. Gentle? She must really not be able to see into my head if she thinks I'm gentle. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? And just like that, the conversation is pulled away from me. I hate this. It always happens when I'm in a group. The conversation moves too fast for me to keep up. Anytime I think of something to say, I take so long to collect my thoughts about how to say it, and the conversation moves past it and the moment's lost. Ugh, I can relate to that. Whenever I'm in a group chat with people, and there's this really like bomb-ass meme that will like fit perfectly with the conversation, and I had to scroll through like the 1,000 images in my gallery to try to find the correct meme to fit the conversation before the topic of the conversation changes. It's like an Olympic event, honestly. Anyway, moving on. There's so much inside my head I want to get out, that I want to express, but all I can do is just sit here. It's frustrating. How do normal people do it? I usually end up tuning out the conversation and living in my head instead. I wish I could have the experience of knowing what it's like to connect with someone. I'm not cute! Rip my vocal cords. Natsuki's sudden shout snaps me out of my reverie. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think it's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I sigh inwardly. Natsuki is continuing to be rude to Jeff. But maybe this is my opportunity to join back in the discussion. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you shared some of your work, you can set an example to help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Panic floods through me. I was speaking rhetorically. I didn't mean that I would actually share anything. I'm too focused on trying to stay calm to reply. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Aw, I want to read everyone's poems. It's true that I sometimes write my thoughts down, but it's only for my own benefit. It helps me understand the inner workings of my own mind. Because the inner mechanisms of my mind are an enigma, particularly when the storm strikes, which it typically does when I'm in stressful situations, or just saying to navigate social gatherings. The storm is nebulous, tempestuous, rarely in control. Capturing it on paper goes a long way towards calming it, but sharing it, I shudder at the thought. What will people think if I show them what I wrote about, my urges, or anything else I've written for that matter? I don't want anyone to know how weird the inside of my head is. Okay. I have an idea, everyone. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I don't think that makes things any easier. Yeah, let's do it! Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Jeff? Hold on. There's still one problem here. What's that? I never said I would join this club. Siri may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and in an instant, all of that expectation and hope had been building up inside of me suddenly crushed. The sense of loss might have brought me to tears, if I wasn't so used to it. But, I'm sorry, I thought we could get to know each other, but I could never say that out loud. Jeff! Jeff is visibly troubled. I can see that he's deep in thought. I ache with wonder all over again about what thoughts might have be going on in his head. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. The confusion and troubled emotions inside me is indescribable. What's happening? You really did scare me for a moment. I spoke without thinking. It might not be normal to feel scared in a situation like this. But unfortunately, no one notices because Yuri has just wrapped her arm around Jeff and is jumping up and down. Yes, I'm so happy. Hey, Jeff is clearly not enjoying this. A strange thought crosses my mind that it would bother me more if he did enjoy it. Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel good about the fact that he's uncomfortable with Sayori's contact? Does it make me a bad person that I want him to feel bad? I'm overtaken by guilt. What's wrong with me? Surely if I wanted some kind of connection with him, I should want him to feel good, right? People are still talking, but I don't hear them. I vaguely acknowledge that Monica has declared the club meeting over. I try to occupy myself with putting my seat away, but the guilt keeps rolling inside me. I slowly walk home, lost in thought. Well, I will just have to do something nice for Jeff to make up for those hurtful thoughts I had. But what? My mind goes into overdrive. What is this soundtrack? It's not bad, it's a pretty good soundtrack. Poring over every detail. Is that how you spell boring? That's not how you spell boring. For the one time you forget the U, seriously. Detail I can recall about today. That probably is how you spell it, I'm just stupid, so we'll see. I realized I really didn't learn much about him. There was only one moment where I talked to him for any length of time. I read a horror book once. That's what he said. It gives me an idea. I changed direction and started walking towards the bookstore. It sounded like he doesn't read much, so I don't know how much he would appreciate a book as a present. But he also said, well, that can change, so maybe it will be okay. Also, why'd you use double quotation marks there? You only need single quotation marks. Anywho. And it sounded like he was okay with the horror book, right? In fact, now that I think about it, that was the only thing he responded to when I was talking to him. Yes, the more I think about it, the more I realize that a horror book would be the perfect gift for him. It's either that or buying him a manga, and I have no idea what I would get him in that case. A sudden idea strikes me. I pick up my pace, flooded with excitement. I'm almost running as I enter the bookstore. My heart is racing as I head straight to the horror section. It doesn't take me long to find what I'm looking for. I would recognize the bright red eye and front cover anywhere. After paying— why are we not in the library? I feel like it'd make more sense if we were in the library right now, but the background's still just a house. After paying for it, I carry it in front of me, admiring my new book as I resume walking home. Portrait of Markov. It's my all-time favorite book. I've read it 100 times. I know he'll love it. I start happily skipping and humming to myself on my way home. That's probably a silly and childish thing to do, but right now, I don't care. I'm feeling really excited about tomorrow, and Jeff's delighted reaction when I present him with this gift. I'm home. Ooh, look at this. I've used this background. That's not in the background. Look at that knife case. It's very photoshopped. No, it looks good though. It fits. It's not poorly photoshopped is what I'm saying. Actually, is that Photoshop? I don't know. It's a nice addition, but I have to say, Yuri, that's a very unsafe location for a knife shop. I mean, if this place got hit with like an earthquake or something, like, you're gonna have a bad time. But that's just my personal opinion, I'm still smiling contenting to myself as I enter my room, still fantasizing about discussing the books with Jeff after he's finished reading it. I can't wait to share my theories about the third eye with him. That's always been favorite aspects of the story to speculate. But hey, that's just a book theory. I set my bag on the floor, still holding my new book in front of me. Out of curiosity, I go to my bookcase and pull out my own copy of the book. I set them down on my bed so I can look at the two of them side by side. They look like a pair of eyes gazing into me. I briefly considered getting yet another copy so there would be a third eye. The thought makes me giggle. I think this is a good time to change out of my uniform. As elegant as it looks, I've never liked the way it shows my figure. I might as well put on my pajamas. He spelled pajamas with a Y too. Since I will be going out again today. As I change, I try to avoid looking at my body, especially my arms. I try to distract myself from reminiscing about the details of my book, the adventure, the mystery, the bizarre events that shape the characters' lives. And I find myself getting lost in my imagination. He's been captured. His only hope is if I can sneak into the facility and free him. What is she? I tiptoe around my room, imagining that I'm in a human experiment prison. The human experiment prison. There he is, tied to the bed. What? What's going on? I duck down next to my bookcase. I'll have to choose my moment carefully when they're distracted. I imagine the scientist leaving the room. Now's my chance. I tiptoe up to my bed. And then I say... What is this? And then I say, Jeff, it's me, Yuri. I'm here to rescue you. And then he says, I do my best to imitate his voice. But you can't rescue me. You're a girl. This is gold. And then I say, I'll do what you want. This is my story now. I chuckle at my little meta-narrative. Besides, you don't want to know what they're going to do to you once they get back. And he says, but how am I going to get out? And I say, don't worry. I pull my green knife out of my bag. I'll cut you loose. I pretend to cut the restraints binding Jeff. Now come with me, I'll get you out of here. I pretend to sneak out of the facility again. And the two of us escape but safety together. And he turns to me with a new look and awe in his face and he says, wow, I guess I underestimated you. You're so clever and brave, Yuri. Will you be... Will you be my friend? And then I say, of course, having friends is the best thing in the world. And then he says, is that true? I've never had a friend before. And I say, oh no, how awful. Will you stay with me, Jeff? I'll introduce you to all of my friends. I have lots and lots of them. I don't know what to think of this. And he says, I'm so thankful I met you, Yuri. I was so lonely. And I say, well, those days are over, Jeff. Now we can be best friends forever. Nobody deserves to be lonely. Nobody. I smile, imagining myself and Jeff doing these things that normal people do together with their friends. This is exactly what normal people do together. Yes, this is definitely what people do. Like when when normal people go out and they go to nice places, this is exactly what they do. This definitely just isn't stripped from some sort of 50 Shades of Grey story. And then I turn my gaze to my books on my bed. I stop smiling. Wouldn't it be weird that I'm giving a brand new book to someone I just met? Oh no. I'm overtaken by panic. I almost ruined everything. I can't even count the numbers of times I've driven people away from me just trying to be friendly. At the best of times, they withdraw from me, afraid or disgusted, or just uncomfortable. Though more often, they prefer to laugh at me or make fun of me. And at the worst of times, I'm so stupid. This is why I don't have any friends. Whenever I get excited about something, I act without thinking. Tears are forming in my eyes. Why can't I just be normal? Everyone else makes it look so easy, like it comes naturally to them. There must be something seriously wrong with me to make me the way I am. I'm only vaguely aware of rolling up my left sleeve. I look at the orderly pattern of marks on my forearm. Another sign that there's something wrong with me. Oh, it's changing more. The storm is rising, a lifetime of failures rushing through my mind. My breathing becomes more rapid as I bring the blade in contact with my Yuri now. I start sobbing as I allow it to break my skin. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid, so stupid. I watch the blood flow down my wrists as my tears flow down my face. Gradually, my heart rate and breathing return to normal. I quickly grab tissues from the box at the bedside table and press them against the cut to stop the bleeding. As the storm subsides, I can think a little more clearly. That makes me uncomfortable, but I guess that's the whole purpose of the scene. It's just that feeling of self-harm makes me uncomfortable. But I guess that's what the scene's supposed to do, so. Why did I do that? It's been 3 weeks since last time I cut myself. Why was I doing so well? I have been planning to reward myself when I reach the 1 month mark. Now I've ruined it. I'm angry at myself for giving in to my urges. I even feel like I should cut myself again in punishment. But I know that's not a rational thing to do. And I know that it would just make me feel worse in the end. As I look at the knife in my hand, it occurs to me that it's been in my bag all day, so the blade was probably dirty, ill. I shudder at the thought of something so unclean just entered my body. I rush to the bathroom. Oh, this is a nice sprite. Look at that. What a nice Yuri pajama sprite. Very well done. I wonder who made that. I also like the layered effect, how it's Yuri's sprite is actually in the mirror and not just like in front of the mirror. Well, very well done. I watched it cut in the sink. It stings when I get soap on it, but I know it will feel better afterwards. I see my blood mingled with water go down the drain. I know that any normal person will feel revolted at the sight. I've been called weird by people at school my whole life, and they don't even know about this. They'd probably call me a freak if they found out. That's a word I've heard used to describe me before. I gaze into my reflection in the mirror. No one would ever like you. The truth of it threatens to overwhelm me. It makes me feel so sad I want to cut myself again. But that's against my rules. I refuse to do it a second time. I should let my mind go there again. Sometimes the urge comes when I'm feeling sad. Pain feels like a fitting companion to the sadness. Sometimes the urge comes when I'm feeling stressed and my mind is feeling scattered. Pain brings my mind back into focus. Sometimes the urge comes when I'm feeling numb. Pain reminds me that I'm alive, and that I'm human, and that I can still feel things. And sometimes, I just feel like I deserve to suffer. I wish I knew how to stop this habit altogether. I do what I can to keep myself away from the knives when I'm feeling depressed, and it helps. But sometimes, there are situations like today when it catches me completely off guard. I was feeling happy when I got home. How did things go so wrong? I don't know how to fight it when the urge sneaks up on me so suddenly like this. I guess I shouldn't have allowed myself to think such sad thoughts while I had a knife in my hands. I glanced at the knife, now seeing seemingly innocent on the edge of my sink. Telltale traces of blood visible on the blade. A strange feeling of betrayal crosses my mind. But I know that that's irrational too. It's just an inanimate object. It didn't do this to me. I did it to myself. Why do I keep thinking of my knives as if they're people? I try to put it from my mind as I carefully wash the knife off. I wish I could control my impulses better. I wish this was the problem that I could only apply my intellect to solve rationally and reasonably and come to a definitive solution. But this feeling is so irrational. It can't be reasoned with. It can't be figured out. And after I do it once, it's easy to spiral out of control and keep doing it. Even now, the sight of a cut is making me feel agitated. But I know that I'll feel better once I put a bandage on it. I come back to my room and take a bandage out of the box of them and that's in my bag. I always have bandages with me just in case one of my cuts starts bleeding again while I'm at school. With the cut bandage and my sleeve hiding my arms from view, I actually do feel a little better. And now it's time to put my knife back on the rack with the others. Yes, the very unsafe rack that's right above the bed. Do not... You have open knives above your bed, Yuri. How do you think this is possibly safe? After returning to its rightful place on the rack, I let out a sigh as I gaze at my collection. No matter how bad my day is, it always improves my mood to look at my beautiful knives. And now that I'm calmer, I find myself coming back to the problem of what I'm going to do about the book. I can't do anything that will look weird. I can't. I don't want to risk it doing anything that would drive JF away. Should I return the book to the bookstore? I carefully ponder this. No, I still have to make things up to him, and I really want to make him feel welcome in the club. Well, what if I give my own copy and keep the new one for myself? That could work, couldn't it? Giving him a gift will be less weird if I can claim that's an old thing I had lying around my house. At least, I think it's less weird. I'm never sure about these things. The only other thing I can think of is to damage the new book so it looks older. But I can never do that. Books deserve to be treated with respect, just like women. So I think giving him my book is the best option. I can't help feeling guilty about it though. I've had this book for so long, it feels like a betrayal to give it up. But that's just nonsense, right? It's an inanimate object, just like my knives. It has no feelings. I slip my book into my bag and try not to think about it. Is there something else I'm supposed to do? Oh, right. How could I forget? The poem. I shudder with fear thinking about it. Tomorrow I have to share a poem that I wrote. How can I do such a thing? Everything I've ever written is terribly personal and probably really bizarre in the eyes of normal people. But I find myself thinking about JF. I have to make him feel welcome. I have to prove to him that I'm someone worth spending time with. I'm not even sure why I feel so strongly about it, but I only have the strangest feeling that there's something special about him. It makes me wish more than ever that I was normal so I could have a friend. I pull out my notebook and sit down at my desk with my pen in hand. I flip through it, looking for inspiration. Glancing over all my stories of flights in fantasy, some darker than others, looking over all my attempts to understand the storm of my mind, and how it leads to the most secret habits. My first thought is whatever I write, it has to be something mild, something safe to talk about. I can't let it come anywhere close to the full fury of what goes on in my head. Something accessible to normal people, by someone to get to know Jeff, so it also has to be me. I chuckle to myself. Now that I really think about it, this doesn't have to be hard at all. I can just write about my experience in the club today. Something that expresses how I want to hold on to my sense of comfort and how I'm being pushed out of it. Once the idea comes to me, I'm able to write it down quickly. I write the title at the top, Ghost Under the Light. It's a little short, but anything I add to it will seem like unnecessary padding. Now that's done, I feel a lot better. I should probably head to bed. I walk over to my bed and see my new book still sitting there. I find myself idly flipping through its pages, reliving the events of the book that I know so well. Something about the smell of the pages is really enticing. I love the smell of a new book. I'm feeling inspired. I think I might like to reread it again. I place the book in my bag next to the other one so I can bring it to school tomorrow. It's been quite a day, but now it's time to sleep. Is that it? I think that's it. End. What a trip. Oh, it just ends. Okay, that's cool. Well, I'll have to write like I'll make a more critical review later, because it's easier to make a refined review after you've played it and kind of digest everything. But initial thoughts. Let's go off initial thoughts right off the bat. What do I like about it? Well, it actually is very good. I enjoy I feel like it did a really good job at portraying Yuri's emotions. I like how it kind of compares like all her anxiety and all those urges. It just kind of calls it the storm, which I guess that's the name. Haha, I got him. I like the coding. The coding is, there's a lot of subtle visual changes that really add to it. So it's really good. The music, I think this is like the only custom track. If there was another one, I probably missed it, but the music's not bad, so, which is a good thing. If you don't have bad music, then it's automatically good. The only gripes I can give on like my initial thoughts, well, I don't like the I don't like the British spelling of words, but I guess who am I to say that, right? But it just bothers me when I see British spelling and not American spelling, because I'm so used to seeing it. But that's not really anything ridiculous. I didn't really see any grammar problems. Other than that, the story was really good. I'm hoping that, this could be, potentially, if it's good, be, it could surpass New Eyes as, like, the Yuri mod of, like, Yuri from Yuri's perspective. Because so far it seems a lot more, because the New Eyes was just kind of like a retelling of the original game. But this one seems like it's adding a lot more. And it seems a lot more fit. But anyway, I'm gonna end it here. If you all enjoyed watching this and want to play out the mod, I'll leave a link to the description of the mod below, so you can all play it if you want, and I will see you all in the next video.